The state agency that oversees higher education in Texas released a new study looking at student success rates. The study is a part of Senate Bill 17, which outlawed the use of diversity, equity, and inclusion offices at public colleges in Texas. The report from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board only looks at data from 2022 and 2023, the years before SB 17 took effect. So these numbers will be treated as a baseline, and here's what they show. The study is looking at certain metrics to measure success, including graduation rates at 2-year and 4-year institutions. In 2023, the 4-year graduation rate for Asian students at a 4-year institution hit 64%, 53% for white students, a lower 38% for Hispanic students, and at the bottom, African American students at 29%. The report finds, quote, African American students consistently achieve the lowest graduation rates across all time frames. Critics of this law believe those numbers could fall even further.
It's very sobering to look at this data and know that it will likely change in the coming years when they review it again.
Emily Witt is with the Texas Freedom Network. She says the baseline data in this report is proof that DEI offices are needed on college campuses.
We have to make an effort to build connection and community and give first-generation students and students of color and students from Black communities places where they can access resources that are for them.
Not everyone feels that way, including the author of the bill, Texas Senator Creighton. He believes the data proves DEI is responsible for the low performance.
We saw that across the state of Texas, the diversity, equity, and inclusion offices were taking us backwards, where even the hiring of minority faculty professors and their recruitment had slid from 3.1% to 1.7%.
He would like to use the money once used to hire DEI employees to be funneled to create programs to support students. We want to go a little deeper. Politics reporter Ryan Chandler spoke at length with Senator Creighton and found out he has plans to expand on SB 17.
We've already passed SB 17 to essentially abolish DEI on campuses. What more do you think needs to be done in that realm?
Well, that's the purpose of the hearings. We're getting incredible feedback on just exactly how the DEI compliance is currently working, right? Because we're making sure that all public universities are following the letter of the law, and we have pretty powerful enforcement provisions in that bill tied to funding for those universities if they tried to subvert the intent of Senate Bill 17. What's next? I think we're definitely looking into governance for how universities work. We're making sure that they are campuses focused on education and innovation, not on political indoctrination. And so that's where we are in listening to many of these new members coming into the Capitol that I'm getting to know. I think our Senate Education Committee is focused on the opinions of those members on where we go next.
I want to ask you about the new report from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board that assessed student success across a broad range of institutions and demographics. And it found strikingly that African American students consistently underperform every other demographic across the key indicators of success, whether it's retention or GPA or graduation rates. How do we improve those outcomes without the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that are purported to help them?
Well, the statistics you just named are the statistics and the outcomes under DEI units, right? We saw that across the state of Texas, the diversity, equity, and inclusion offices were taking us backwards, where even the hiring of minority faculty professors and their recruitment had slid from 3.1% to 1.7%. So it doesn't surprise me that student performance had also declined. But what could we do different? We could take the millions and millions of dollars that was dedicated for 379 DEI employees just at the University of Texas alone and provide better student supports. That money should have been used for that purpose all along.
What specifically do you think is needed to reach parity between students from different racial and economic backgrounds?
Well, just as I mentioned on the use of the incredible funding that we were putting into DEI units over the last 10 years, the success was just not there, and many vulnerable populations on campus were actually being hurt by those DEI units. So we can't allow for that to continue. We're not going to settle for mediocrity. We're going to make sure that the dollars that the public, that the taxpayer provides to our public universities, that it's used to support the very students that you mentioned need help. And those aren't the only students that are underperforming and need help. We need to help them, and we need to help all students that need the supports in a lift up, so that they can in turn, through their own hard work and merit and work ethic, continue to climb to a successful opportunity in the workforce.
The Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board plans to release a report on the impact of Senate Bill 17 every 2 years. A devastating crash into a hospital sparks change in the law. We'll look at one city's new plan to protect people and look inside the investigation that shed light on the issue.